Did you know that there's a manipulation tactic that some men use to make you overperform for their approval? It makes you not want to lose them, and sometimes it can even make you compete for their validation. And the worst part about this tactic is that you won't realize that you're actually doing it. You won't realize. The only way you realize this is if you sit down and really evaluate the situation and what's happened, or someone actually makes it clear to you. This method is called the triangulation strategy, and this is when somebody introduces a third party between two people. For example, have you ever been seeing a man and he makes subtle hints that there is another woman in the picture or there are other women that want him? That is a very subtle way of implementing the strategy, because what happens is you become aware of potential threats to the thing that you want, which is a relationship with this man. And subconsciously, you also become aware of the fact that somebody else might take this man away from me. And if they are able to take this man away from me, it means I don't get the thing that I want. So sometimes what ends up happening is you start to overcompensate, you start to overperform for his validation and approval. You start to do this to secure your position in his life. And now when there's a moment where he pulls away, you start to overperform even more because you do it out of fear. You don't want to lose him, and you don't want to lose him to the people that he's mentioned or the woman that he's mentioned. Sometimes he might not be speaking to these women or seeing these women. It might just be an ex that's always on his case. It might be a friend that likes him. But anyway, if you're still watching this video and you want more tips on finding out the manipulation tactics that men have used against you and men are using in the dating world today, I've created a community called the Awakened Women's Circle where I'm going to be teaching a lot more. If you want to join this community, tap the link in my bio and you can join the waiting list. The spots will open probably in the next 5 days.
I'm gonna be honest. A man uses fear to manipulate women. Let me tell you something. If I know you ain't never had no daddy and you never had no mama like that, I'll be your security. I promise you that I got you. You know what I'm saying? I give you all the love, make you feel wanted every day. And then it's some things that you may not know how to do. I'm gonna tell you to do it. If you don't do it, I may beat on you or verbally abuse you. So now I got you under my control because you feel like I'm your safe place. So you try to do everything to stay in that safe place. You try to do everything to please me so I can please you. You hear what I'm saying? See, when a person give you a little bit, they feed you a little bit, give you somewhere to stay, paying your bills and all that, you feel secure. You know what I'm saying? You don't feel like you're going to lose anything. But if you don't do what the person say, you feel like you're going to lose everything because they're doing everything for you when you can't do it for yourself. You know what I'm saying? So you'll be stuck there. If you trust in them with everything you got, that's all you got is them. You ain't got yourself no more. You don't even control yourself no more. Unless you run off and just be homeless and start all over. Other than that, you'll just be sitting there. You'll just be sitting there waiting on them every day while they playing right in your face. Calling everybody right in your face. They doing everything right in your face. You can't do that because they prone to be your safe place. Ain't your safe place no more because your heart is hurt. Your mind is hurt. You know what I'm saying? They want you to crash out and act crazy. And then they tell everybody you crazy. And then they tell everybody you ain't got nothing. I take care of everything. And then they don't appreciate me. That's what happens. That's what happens. That's how men mess up your mind. They know what they be doing. Find women from a weak place and make her feel like she in a strong place. And then when she can't do certain things that he won't, then he put her back in a weak moment. And she's scared to be in that weak moment. So she try to be strong and do as much as she can to keep him loving her the way he did in the beginning. Truth hurt.
Being with a man who will psychologically and emotionally manipulate you to get from you something that you will not be able to take back is wicked lame behavior. And the thing is that you know that he's doing that. Why do you know that he's doing that? And how do you know that he's doing that? Because he's done it before, and he's done it to other women, and he's done it to women that you know. And yet you persist and insist on entering into this relationship because you are lonely, and because you're dealing with tragedy and setback, and because you want companionship, and because you don't want to be by yourself. My question to you is it worth it to lay with a dude who will literally get from you what he wants, aka the box, and skirt out, and will literally look at your face and watch you die and not give two flying fig Newtons about you after he's gotten out of you what he wanted? Is that worth it to you? You need to ask yourself that question, because if it is worth it to you, you've got major healing work to do in yourself, my sister.
Things guys say when they're trying to manipulate you, part 2. I'm giving back to the universe for all the girls I've manipulated in my life, so I hope this information helps you never get your heart broken again. So you're finally fed up with him. You're through all the ups and downs, all the I'm gonna change but he never changes, all the I'm sorries only to do the same thing over and over again. So you're putting your foot down. This time it's it, and you're letting him know it's done. You're over with him. You're moving forward with your life. So you sit him down so he knows that this is serious, and you tell him, look, it's over. I'm moving forward. I'm done with you. And then he gets all hysterical. Oh my God, I can't believe this. And he says to you,
if you break up with me, I'm gonna unalive myself.
Watch how closely this relates to the next one. So of course you enjoy spending time with him, but you also need to have some feminine energy around you sometimes, you know, just to switch it up, you know. Maybe you just spend the night over at your girl's place and you guys just have girl talk. Or the girlies go out to dinner, just catch up, have a good time, you know, be around some femininity. But you start to notice this ever so slight pushback every time you tell him you're gonna go spend some time with your friends or be around your girlfriends or do anything around your girlfriends. But you don't pay it no mind until finally one day you come to him and tell him you're gonna go spend some time with the girlies. And he says to you,
I wish you would spend more time with me. You're my only friend.
The last one is just such crazy manipulation. Once I get halfway through it, you'll be like, yeah, that manipulation. So you're talking to him about your past, right? And you guys are sharing stories back and forth of the things that you've been through, the people that you've been with, just the experiences that you've had, so you can gain a better understanding of each other's perspective, right? Healthy stuff, nothing wrong with that. Of course, in the process, you guys begin talking about exes and your past partners and your most recent ex, right? And then he says something that in theory sounds good, but when you really sit down and think about it, you realize is actually manipulation. And then in the process of him telling you about his past relationship, he leans in and says to you,
I hate my ex with all my heart.
Ladies, sometimes manipulative and toxic men like to specifically go after women that are confident. And one of the major reasons why they do this is because they want to know that you are not an exception to their trickery. It actually bothers them deeply to know that you are above whatever they do to get you caught up. And in some cases, the more that you show that you're confident, the more they try to up their game. It's not important to them to be in a mutually beneficial relationship. It's not about respect and equality. It's about knowing that you're not an exception to their games. When you show boundaries, standards, and maturity, it actually makes them want to try even more. And let's go a little deeper. Sometimes they take it as an attack on their character. Sometimes they're actually thinking, oh, well, you can actually turn me down, like after everything I did, especially if they start to like you a little bit. There's no way you can resist me, and I did all of this. Nobody resists me. I get it, maybe I gotta do a little more, and then I'll get you back. It becomes more of a revenge scheme than an actual trial for a relationship. And you want proof? Try to call them out. When they switch up on you or gaslight you or try to push your boundaries, try to tell them no, or try to tell them that they're lying. Because you already know if it's immediately an argument or dismissal, this is a game. Like I said, accountability should grow us and not defeat us. Be careful.